That's right. You're tuned to CJSW 90.9 FM here from the University of Calgary in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And we are here at the third floor of our beautiful studios that you have all helped us build. And that is because you have supported us so well at Funding Drive. And we are going to have Funding Drive in about a month. So we are all super excited here about that. I hope you're doing well. The change of seasons, it's getting a little cool. Yeah, I'm getting cold. I hope you're okay with that. I certainly am going to be missing summer, my favorite season. But I know a lot of people who love fall. Oh, and I should tell you, I've got a guest tonight. I'm really excited. Mark Fleischhaker is coming in to talk about his projects. Right now, his current project is Terrible Crayon. Maybe Mark will scream for us. You never know. He often will do that. All right, here's Jerry Sharif, Water and Tools. So happy to have Mark here. Hi, Mark.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Mark, how many bands have you been in?
Oh, I wish I would tallied that up. I'm going to say, well, it depends on your definition of band.
Well, even solo projects.
Are we talking like rehearsed music, improv music, solo, all of that?
Yeah. Like
I'm going to say roughly between 20 and 25.
Sure.
Probably.
And how long have you been on the scene?
The Calgary scene, pretty much as soon as I moved here 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I met Chris Dadge. Ironically enough, he was the second drum teacher at Music Center Canada when he used to be on 37th there.
Right.
And as soon as I started working there, he started about a month after me, and he was just taking over for Darren for Knockhouse. Knockhouse was on its way out.
Right.
And kind of passing the torch to Chris Dadge, and yeah, I mean, that was it. I told him that's kind of my thing. I'm into the improv noise thing, and he said, give me a sample. I gave him a sample. He's like, you're in. So ever since then, really. Yeah. Unless you include karaoke, because I kind of, as I think the last time you surprised me with a karaoke CD that I forgot I gave you.
Well,
I was like, what are you playing? I don't remember giving this to you. And then I went, oh, right. I did give you that.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I have been pronouncing your name wrong. I'm sorry.
But
it was like I was telling you, Fleischhaker would be a great band name for your, like that would be a heavy metal name.
You're absolutely right.
But it's not that.
And I don't know. I mean, I grew up with people pronouncing it Fleischhaker, and that might even be wrong. Maybe
How is it? How do you Fleischhaker?
Fleischhaker.
Fleischhaker. Well, that's even better because it's so evocative, Mark. I see flies on meat. I don't know, Mark. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, you know that album. I was just listening because that album, the karaoke album, right? Was that the one where there's 1 minute tracks and they all go like boom, 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 boom?
Oh, no. That's Faster Disco.
Faster Disco. Okay,
that's a different
I'm getting the disco and the
karaoke but why you're thinking of the two is because I believe it was the second last time I was here with Joe promoting Faster Disco.
Okay.
And then at the very end of the session, you put on a karaoke CD. And like, this is what I really like, Mark. And you put it on, and we were kind of casually talking, and as I was listening to it and going, what is this? I don't remember bringing this to you. This isn't Faster. It's like, oh, right, you have this because I gave it to you like X amount of years ago.
You know, we did that 30th anniversary, Mark, and I was going through my stacks, and I pulled out a lot of your releases. You know, like I probably got, next to Chris Dadge, I've got a lot of releases from the experimental scene. So I pulled out about 5 or 6 discs that you've done. And
I guess every time I come here, I forget I'm leaving you
another present.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's right.
But just on a different note, because that album, you know how that album where you have all those things that go really fast, 1 minute, like you name the track and then you scream the track?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's the name of give me the title, because you gave it to me on that Thursday. Yeah.
The song title?
Yeah, give me a
song
song title.
That project is Faster Disco.
Yeah.
And the really, really long song title you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was originally 2 titles that I sandwiched together to make an extra long one.
Right.
So it's a series of events in no particular order as a direct result of the first thing you said to me on the third last time that we met has led me to believe that life is a metaphor for something far greater than the human mind can possibly comprehend, and if we were to actually realize what that was, that massive amount of information would cause our small brains to either cave in or explode in unison.
I totally agree with that. Because I think, I do. Because I think people can blow their mind with spiritual experiences when they get that sense of unitive experience with the cosmos, and then it just gets so overwhelming for them, and it can blow their experience.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not something I really sit and think about a lot, but I mean, I did come up with it, and I didn't really overthink it at the time. I just thought it sounded neat. But,
it must have come from somewhere, Mark.
I guess so.
It comes from where all creativity comes from.
Sure.
That great creative force out there that musicians tap into.
Yeah, every now and then, if you're lucky, you'll tap into that, and
then it'll stream through.
Then things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking about, Mark, is, that album where you got all those 1-minute things that go really fast reminds me of the Residents commercial album. Do you remember that Residents commercial?
Yeah. The Residents, yes. That album in particular, not necessarily, but I definitely know who the Residents are.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say the weirdest thing, Canopy. Canopy is a free streaming service through the library.
Okay.
And Canopy has the Residents commercial album videos for streaming for free. So I was watching these weird videos from the Residents from that commercial album. It's pretty weird. So this is on the library streaming site. I just wanted to plug that for people who wanted to watch the Residents commercial album videos, which is probably the weirdest stuff you could ever hear.
Cool. I appreciate a band that will disguise themselves and keep their identity a secret.
As eyeballs.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I think they kept that for decades. I mean, I think now people might know who they are.
Oh, they're pretty big.
They didn't for a long time.
Like who their real identities are. Yeah, because there was that film about them. Anyway, what have you been doing over the summer, Mark? You brought some so-called music. I'll put it in.
I figured I'd come by and get you to play some stuff that I've been doing over the past 2 years, I guess.
Great.
The first one is a piece I did in my living room last month in my apartment. I woke up that day and I had 2 ideas. I had an idea where, okay, I know this is going to work for sure. And then I had a second idea where I'm like, this is a crapshoot. It might not work. We'll see. Turns out that it just flipped on itself, and the piece that I thought was guaranteed didn't work at all. And I got super frustrated with it, gave up. And then the piece that I thought, I'll try this, turned out to be really great. So
that's the way it is.
This is that piece. It's called The Boat is Booby-Trapped 2. And all that's being used here is a microcube amp, like a really tiny small amp, because I live in an apartment, and a couple of different Walkmans. A Sony Walkman that's kind of broken, and another Walkman, this company called Mona. I've never even heard of it. I mean, I forgot I had it. A student of mine ages ago gave it to me because he knew I was into cassettes and Walkmans and stuff. And that's all that's being used here. And the Mona Walkman has a radio on it, so I was messing with the radio frequencies, and a cassette tape, a certain cassette tape I had from my childhood, which has a Smurfs record on it. And you flip it over, and it's a Batman 70s adventure with the Riddler. And, I wasn't sure if anything was going to come of it, but I really liked the result. So, yeah, that's this one. The Boat is Booby-Trapped 2.
It's got a hybrid engine. It fills about 2 grand. One cartridges. All the time? And then gets goes, shoot. Wait till it's so good.
Anytime you wish to use this great power, remember that always exactly as you like to be.
Okay, you're listening to The Noise Show, as you can well tell. And my name's Paula, and my guest is Mark Fleischhaker.
Yes.
Is that right?
You are correct,
Oh,
yes.
that's so good.
Yes.
Your words, not mine, Mark. Obnoxious, that's what you said.
Oh, truly.
That's it.
Really made for an audience of one, but, I'll take advantage of coming in and seeing you and playing it for all of Calgary. Why not?
Why not? Tell people what a Walkman is, because there might be some people that don't even know what a Walkman is.
They were little devices in the 80s that you would put cassette tapes in, and that was how you could listen to music outside of your house.
You would go for a walk and you'd put a cassette tape in it, and it would play for you through your headphones. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was mentioning to you while that was playing that I recorded this, even though it sounds really crazy.
Yeah.
This was done at an incredibly low volume. I think
That's
I had
in your apartment. No one came in and said, "Mark, turn that off."
No. I had the
no
amp.
one called the police.
Nope.
It
was on literally the volume was on 1.
No.
I just had the recorder
no noise
right
complaints.
next to the speaker.
Really?
Nope.
It was interesting what you said about how you were sampling your Walkman. Tell people about that.
I had there was 2 tracks going on. One of them was with a different Walkman. The other one was with a different, 2 different Walkmans with 2 different tracks, basically. One was a Sony Sports Walkman that has a...
they were yellow, I think.
Yeah, and they have like a little switch on them that they will just start playing the other side, so you didn't have to flip it over.
Yeah, isn't that easy?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of... I'm taking advantage of that during that recording. And then the other...
It's instant sampling and looping, because all you have to do is flip the switch, and then it plays side B, and then it takes you back to where you were on side A at the same time. So you're just you can replay side A over and over and over again.
Yeah. And then the other Walkman had the radio, and so I was messing with that dial, and a
little bit of editing, but not much.
Yeah, not much. Cool.
Okay.
So the next thing I have is, this was done in April of last year. Early last year, I got infatuated with this TV show called WandaVision, which is on Disney Plus. Like Disney needs any of my help promoting it. It was.
You've got
absolutely
a soft heart, Mark. You really do. It's the music you make is, like you said, obnoxious and a bit harsh, but really, like. You've got a soft heart.
You can just tell, can't you?
I can tell. You're such a marshmallow. You really are.
Well, anyway, I appreciate that, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah.
This show's incredible. I got really into it. A lot of the episodes reminded me of a lot of David Lynch's films. Okay. Where there's certain things going on the surface, but that's not what's really going on. It's all metaphoric, deep resonances as for other things that are actually the real story is underneath, and eventually over time it gets revealed. So I found that really fascinating. I think that's maybe why I took to it so much, because I'm a big David Lynch fan. And then the way it ends is the character Wanda, she ends up getting hold of this it's kind of like the Satanic Bible. They call it the Darkhold, and she's reading passages of it. She wants to try to like bring people back from the dead and all this kind of stuff, and that's kind of how the show ended. And then I just got this idea of like, well, what would it sound like? What would be like the sounds going on in her head as she's like reading this book? And so I thought, well, why don't I just create those sounds? And so I did like 38 pieces, which is a lot. I don't like double albums. I think they're really obnoxious, and I've made like 2 double albums over the past 2 years.
It's been a lockdown, right? We've been hanging out.
I mean,
at
I couldn't help it. I was having fun. I just kept going, right?
Awesome.
So this is the last piece. This is out of 38 pieces I did. This is number 38. So Readings from the Darkhold, chapter 38.
And that's the title? Reading from the Dark, what's it called?
Reading from the Darkhold, chapter 38. So I'm playing keyboards on this. I'm doing some vocal stuff and maybe some other background things.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're listening to Noise. I'm here with Mark. We were just investigating his YouTube channel. Mark, I never knew you had a YouTube channel.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, I didn't mention it?
No, never.
A couple times I was here?
Maybe. You could have, but I never looked at it before, and I'm looking at it now. Push hard.
Oh, yeah. There's a story behind that, but
That's a different story. You said you had over 1,000 videos.
I do. I have... My YouTube channel is quite extensive, but I woke up today with a copyright strike from a David Lynch documentary that I forgot I had on my YouTube channel that I literally uploaded in 2006. And
so it's how many years later? 16? Yeah.
15, 16. Yeah. But I mean, there's a difference between, because I once that happened, I looked into it. There's a difference between a copyright strike and like a full-on copyright, or a copyright claim.
Okay.
Claims mean, okay, so the user of this, whatever you're using, this piece of music or whatever, is allowing you to use it, so it's not a problem. You can have the video up. So I have a bunch of those on my channel. But every now and then, you'll get a strike where this person's just like, no, that's not allowed. In the past, I know Wendy Carlos, the composer of the Shining theme, I got a copyright strike a long time ago from her because I did karaoke to Rocky Mountains, the theme from The Shining once. And then whoever did the David Lynch documentary, he removed that. Or he removed them from my channel. And yeah, it's weird what you're allowed to use and not use. Like, I don't know how all these other YouTubers, I guess they're called YouTube. I'm not one of them, but how they get away with. I mean, maybe they're paying money or something. I don't know what they're doing, but.
Well, the only,
I'm honestly pretty ignorant with it, and considering I have so many videos on my channel, like, it's not something.
Well, how is it that people just they found it and then somebody found it and made a complaint or something?
I think they have this crazy algorithm that just goes around and just searches for content like that, and they finally, 16 years later, got around to these videos that I completely forgot I had.
Well, the only thing what's coming to mind is Rick Beato, who he's a guitar player, and he always does, like, what makes this song great is what he does, and he'll take.
Oh yes, I subscribe to his channel. I know who he is.
Yeah, so he's always talking about. He'll always do these special pieces where he's been getting. What do you call it when
copyright strike? He just did one about Oasis.
Yeah, and there's certain people that he just refuses to cover now because they just refuse to let him.
Yeah, I've had an issue with an Oasis song once, and I just thought to myself, well, what makes you guys so special?
I think it's just their legal department, right?
Yeah,
they just, I don't know. But it's such it's a wild world. Everybody is covering everything, and there's so much out there. How can you control everything?
Right. So, as I was telling you, but just before I came here, I spent about a couple of hours, actually, dissecting my channel and going, okay, there's that's probably going to get a strike, remove that. I removed a whole bunch of stuff I didn't want to remove, but I don't want my channel to get taken down.
No.
And if it does, well, whatever, I'll just start a new one and put other things up. But
well, if people want to go to your YouTube channel, they should search Terrible Crayon.
Yeah, it's youtube.com/user/markfly, MARKFLY. And the name of the YouTube channel is Terrible Crayon.
Sounds good.
It has most of my solo stuff. And as of a couple hours ago, it used to have a lot more, but not now. I'm okay with that, though. That's fine. I mean, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, I kind of create for myself anyway. Pretty selfish that way. I don't really know how else to describe it other than, like, I'm not a guy that goes out and tells people what I'm doing, promote stuff. I don't share things. Very rarely am I liking things or posting things. I'm kind of making up for it right now by being here to talking to the entire city. So it's like nothing, and then here I am.
I think you need a reality check, Mark, because the entire city does not listen to
this
show.
Oh, I know. I'm just, in theory, I'm speaking into a microphone and I'm on a radio station right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got Tambu Medley yet. Left.
Now, I was telling you, I think you're going to like this one because this one does have me singing.
I do love your singing, and I think you took offense when I said you were loud. Did you?
No.
No, you didn't take offense. Okay, good.
No, I just kept thinking about all the times that I was really quiet, and I'm like, where is she getting this?
Well, maybe I've never heard you when you perform live when you were quiet.
Yeah, I guess so.
I've mainly heard you perform when you're screaming, but I appreciate that.
So I'm playing drums and I'm singing simultaneously on this, and I had a delay pedal running through the mic that was picking up the drums as well. Mm-hmm. So in 2010, September of 2010 is when I decided to really investigate the band Toto. I've always been like a casual fan. And so I did a deep dive.
You are such a nerd. You really are.
They're a really nerdy band to get into. Yes, they are.
What is their hit? What was that?
They got like Hold the Line, Rosanna. Africa. Those would be the main three. Yeah. But I quickly found out that they are much, much more than just those three songs.
Of course
they're phenomenal. And their drummer, Jeff Porcaro, has become my favorite drummer. He's probably got the best sense of groove I've ever heard.
Okay.
He's the drummer on Beat It and Billie Jean.
Wow.
Thriller.
Okay.
I mean, he's not doing much. He's just keeping the groove. But and obviously he can play really technical stuff too. But so I'm doing a Toto medley from an obscure record that came out in '95 called Tambu.
Okay.
So it's like 3 different Toto songs from that album that I kind of mashed together as I'm playing drums in singing the Toto songs. So that's what this is.
Driving through the rain, just to talk to you again. Please don't run away this time. Love sweet song of mine. Night I need to stay with you. Just to remind my past and tear down the walls around your heart. Just to know who you are. Just can't get to you. Just can't get to just can't get to You're afraid that you'll Yes, I know that's how I feel. Don't surrender, that's the way to win. There you go, let me in. 'Cause it just can't get you. Left you crying on that angry morning. You know I always want one better thing that loves me. I sit tight. World circles round a different sun. It's over away. Now I know that you're the only one. Now I'm walking down some distant street. Oh, oh, oh. And I know your touch is out of reach, girl. Girl, you belong to me. I know. And it was wrong of me to ever let you go. Oh, you belong to me. I know. And it was wrong of me to ever let you go. Oh, you belong to me. I know. Sometimes it hurts you to the core. When we lose all we care for, the hunger and thirst for love that endure. Still real, what will I do with my life? Try to share it with somebody new. How can I learn to disguise that I'm hungry without you?
Mark, you're a really good drummer, right? That's what people say. You're a really good drummer. Why are you doing all this weird noise stuff?
Are you reading a direct quote from the internet?
No, I'm just repeating what you told me.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that.
Yeah.
More than one person, actually.
More than one person?
Yeah. I remember when Faster Disco first started, just before I moved here, and a friend of mine after our first show came up to me and said, yeah, that was really entertaining and great, but why were you not playing drums?
Right.
And I was like, because the whole reason we put this band together was so that I could not play drums, so that my friend Trevor could play drums. And yeah, but you're really good. Like, you should be drumming. And I'm like, what about what I just told you? Did you not understand? Like, I don't have to play drums all the time, do I?
No?
No.
You can do other things.
Yeah.
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 Let me just see. I do want to just do that. Here's the riff from Rosanna. We've been talking about Toto. So
No, the
here it
original,
is. The
opening drum beat.
The opening drum beat. Here we go.
They're awesome. Completely underrated. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, what were you telling me about Michael Jackson? Like they're Michael Jackson's backup band.
They played the guitar player Steve Lukather and Jeff Porcaro, the drummer, and the keyboard player David Page. They all were hired guns on the Michael Jackson Thriller record. They played on Beat It, Billie Jean, The Girl Is Mine, and Human Nature.
Human Nature was their song, you said.
Yeah, Human Nature was, in fact, a Toto song that was rejected by the band that Quincy Jones heard by accident and then said, well, I would love to just record this for Michael and get him to sing it, and you guys play it. So, yeah, it's a full-on Toto song with Michael Jackson on vocals. And I don't know why more people don't know about that.
I think you need to do the podcast about Toto. You need to do the history of Toto, like what makes Toto great. That's it. Mark on Toto.
Okay, I'll get on it.
But before you do that, you're going to tell us what else you've been doing over the summer. How did Mark spend his summer vacation?
Well, it didn't mean to happen, but I actually reunited and got back together with my old high school band called Mrs. Svensson.
Mrs. Svensson.
Yeah,
was that the name of the teacher?
No, that's just a random name I chose blindly out of a book because we needed to book a show. We didn't have a band name yet. So I got frustrated and flipped open a book and just pointed at a word and said, whatever I'm pointing at, that's what we're called for the show. And we were called Mrs. Svensson for like 12 years because we never changed the name.
Do you remember the book?
No. Unfortunately, I don't.
Maybe we need to do a Google search and see.
I think one of my students, Jackson Jones, was sort of interested in sort of investigating it. I remember he thinks he found the book.
Oh, yeah. How do you spell Svensson? I'll do the Google search right now.
Svenson.
Mrs. Svensson.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what comes up. Well, she's from Regina, Saskatchewan. She made a very low-budget video for the single Home from the 1995 album. That's not it.
No, that is it.
Is that it?
That's the band, yeah.
Oh, that's you?
Yeah. That's
okay.
the video we sent to Much Music in 1995.
Oh, Flood.
Yeah, that was the album.
Oh, okay. So you're on Bandcamp.
We did a few things.
When we look up Mrs. Svensson, we don't get we get you.
The context is completely changed now. So I was in that band from 88 to 2001. And then this fast forward to 2022, I'm in Regina, hanging out with some friends of mine. I'm like, hey, look, what do you think about doing like an old school, noise session in your basement? And then we're doing it. And the vibe was just really great. And we recorded a bunch of stuff. And then the next thing you know, it's like we're doing it for real. It just kind of happened. Like it wasn't planned.
Like all the best bands.
I just kind of thought, well, this is like minus one person. This is like the original 1988 lineup of Mrs. Svensson. And then when they started talking, hey, why don't we do this for real? But Mark, you should be the singer, because my friend Jed was the drummer. Originally, I went in and recorded some stuff with guitar and vocals. And then once the conversation became more serious, and I went, oh, this is really a thing, the first thing I said was, well, I'm not going to play guitar and sing, so I'm not going to do that at the same time. I'll pick one. I'm a singer, so I'll do the vocals. We'll find somebody to play guitar. So I took several trips to Regina this summer, and
Regina's got a really cool scene, I think. Regina and Saskatoon. Both of those places have got a lot of rock things going on. I had a friend who was living in Saskatoon.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't really know. I'll take your word for it. I mean,
The Faps.
we're all kind of out of it. We're all kind of old and out of it now. I mean, when I think of the Regina music scene, I think of like the 90s and stuff. And it was pretty good back then. I was always kind of, because, Much Music would travel to cities and like do a little showcase about, this city and that. And they kind of always bypassed us. And I was like, we got some really good stuff here. But anyway, long story short, the band is back together and it can work because I'm the vocalist, so I can take trips there and, do my thing over top of the music. They can write the music. I think if I was playing any other instrument, it would be a lot more difficult. But yeah, that's happening right now. So,
Nice.
I mean, that band will have a little bit of noise in it. I think what we're writing right now is we're just writing and kind of seeing what happens. We're not really thinking of genre and it is a side project too. Like we all have day jobs, so it's not like we're going to go out on like tour or anything. And these days you don't even have to record a record. You can just go into a studio and record a couple tracks and put them on a Bandcamp and, so.
Yeah. It's a lot of creative potentials.
Right. So while I was there in Regina, the first trip I was there for a couple weeks and I was staying in a hotel because I like my privacy. I like to have my own space. Pretty private person. I don't really feel like I should be crashing on floors at age 50. It's like I'm kind of, with a bad back. I've kind of done that. And I recorded a full-on solo album in my hotel room. I recorded another double record, like the obnoxious person I am, called Live at the Holiday Inn. And I recorded like 20 or 25 pieces. I forget. And again, using the same method that I used in my apartment.
And you weren't kicked out.
No,
You were recording quiet volume.
Tiny microcube amp. I think I had the loudest I think I was maybe 1.5.
That's great.
And I used this little Zoom Q3 recorder, like put it like right next to the speaker. And I had tons of gadgets and all my noise pedals with me and multiple microphones. And what was interesting about that is one thing that, like when you go to a hotel like that, one thing you don't pay for is quiet. So because I was doing a lot of the stuff during the day and the afternoon, that's usually when like the hired help are going around like cleaning rooms and stuff.
Right.
And man, are they ever loud. Holy, like just slamming things, just constantly banging from the ceiling. And they were louder than I was. And here I am recording a noise record under their noses and they don't even know. At one point, somebody knocked on the door and I went, oh, okay, here it is. Noise complaint for sure. And I went, hello, yes. And they went, after a little pause, they went, oh, sorry, wrong room. And I went, okay, that's the name of this piece. Sorry, wrong room. So, well, that's not what I'm going to play here. But, yeah, I just found that really ironic.
You didn't get a noise complaint.
No.
Were you recording late at night?
No, no. This would have been between like 3 or 5 in the afternoon.
Okay, that's not bad.
No.
I was recently in a hotel, and this person next to me had their television on nonstop from like 5 in the afternoon till about, at 11 p.m., I phoned the front desk and asked them to see if they could talk to the people next door because I could hear the bleed coming through the
Oh, yeah, for sure.
the TV. So, I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
You don't pay for silence. But yeah, I just found it really funny that I recorded like this whole noise record under their
Was there a
and-
pool at the Holiday Inn? Did you record
Yes.
live? Did you get any recordings of the pool?
No. I think it's no, I didn't. But at one point, a group of kids, I swear to God, they just like body slammed into my door.
Did you record it?
No.
Okay, Mark. This what are you going under for this release?
Okay, so this
Is it Terrible Crayon, or
this is Terrible Crayon. This
Okay.
is, everything I've done here that I've played for you is Terrible Crayon.
Terrible Crayon. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is live at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, this is the first track. It's called These Seats Are Terrible.
These seats are terrible. And I thought, wait, what was the name of the song? The other song is like Sorry, Wrong Room. That's another track.
And that is another track off the record that
Okay.
I didn't bring that one.
You didn't bring that.
But I was trying to sort of make these selections a little bit more various so they don't totally all sound the same.
Okay.
But
So
yeah.
what are you using for this? What are you?
For this recording, I had every single one of my pedals set up to go.
How many
So,
pedals did you have?
Maybe about 12,
12 pedals.
12 or so.
Okay.
Plus, I had a laptop with some stuff going on the speakers, and I also had a radio playing, and I was just kind of doing a big collage of random
Nice.
stuff. So off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you exactly what pedals I'm using for this, but I was kind of just molding and shaping the whole time. So just a little bit of everything, I suppose. Yeah.
Good. Well, here is live from the Holiday Inn. Terrible Crayon. These seats are terrible. Mark, I've had so much fun. I didn't pay attention to the time. We got to go. It's 5 to 10. Thanks for coming on Noise.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Wow, that was great. Mark Fleischhaker. Terrible Crayon. Faster Disco. What else? So many bands.
Mrs. Svensson.
Mrs. Svensson.
That's my newest band.
Mark, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
We'll have a listen to the rest of this live from the Holiday Inn, and people who want to go and check out more of your stuff, they could go to your YouTube channel, Terrible Crayon, and Bandcamp, right? You had it written down on that piece of paper, but you should know it off by heart. It is your site.
It is a weird...
You don't have to look at the paper.
But for Bandcamp, it's terriblecrayon.bandcamp.com.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark, for coming on.
Thanks, Paula.
It's been so fun. Stay tuned for Void Link Up. Henry is here.
aus Calgary, Alberta, Kanada, aus dem Land des 7. Vertrages und des Métis-Volkes von Alberta, Region 3, übertragen.